Anecdotal evidence is not evidence for God. Theists may say, I believe in God because I have a personal relationship with God, or I believe in God because God came to me when I was weak and vulnerable. Theists attribute feelings to a divine presence. Theists see it as proof of God's existence. However, anecdotal evidence is misleading and deceptive. It's not tangible evidence for the existence of a God. It's tempting to accept anecdotes as proof. But we need verifiable evidence, something that can be measured, tested, analyzed, and verified. Anecdotes are not the same as tangible evidence. They lack the standard required to be considered proof. We must examine how our brains tend to find patterns, even where none exist. Each of us experiences the world in a unique way. Our senses, our memories, our biases can influence our perceptions. This makes our experiences subjective. This means they are personal to us. What feels like a profound spiritual experience to one person might seem completely ordinary to another. This is why anecdotal evidence is unreliable. It relies on individual interpretations. These interpretations cannot be easily verified by others. Let's imagine two people witnessing a sunset. One person might see it as a simple natural phenomenon. The other might interpret it as a sign from God. Both interpretations can be considered valid by each of these individuals. But neither interpretation is inherently more true than the other. Without objective, measurable data, it's impossible to say which interpretation is more accurate. This subjectivity extends beyond single events. It influences how we view the world as a whole. Our beliefs, our values, our upbringing, all these factors shape our perceptions. They influence how we interpret our experiences. This makes it difficult, if not impossible, to separate genuine evidence from personal bias. Emotions play a powerful role in our lives. They color our perceptions and influence our decisions. While emotions are a natural part of the human experience, they can cloud our judgment. This is especially true when considering matters of faith. When we are emotionally invested in a belief, we are more likely to interpret experiences in a way that confirms that belief. This is where anecdotal evidence can be particularly misleading. Imagine a person who prays for a loved one to recover from an illness. The loved one recovers. It's natural for that person to attribute the recovery to their prayers. They might see it as a miracle, as proof of God's intervention. However, this conclusion ignores other possible explanations. The recovery could be due to medical care, the body's natural healing process, or simply chance. To claim that the recovery was solely due to prayer is to ignore the complexities of the situation. It's to privilege personal experience over other, potentially more plausible explanations. While the emotional impact of such an experience is undeniable, it doesn't make it proof of the supernatural. Confirmation bias. Our brains are wired to find patterns. This ability helped our ancestors survive. They could identify threats and find food sources. However, this same ability can lead to errors in thinking. One such error is confirmation bias. This is the tendency to favor information that confirms our existing beliefs. We also tend to dismiss information that contradicts our beliefs. Confirmation bias is a powerful force. It can lead us to misinterpret information. It can even lead us to see patterns where none exist. When it comes to anecdotal evidence, confirmation bias can be particularly strong. If we already believe in God, we're more likely to interpret coincidences or unusual events as signs from God. For example, we might see a particular number repeatedly. We might interpret this as a message from God. However, this could simply be our brains noticing a pattern that was always there. Our brains are constantly seeking patterns. Sometimes they find them even when they aren't meaningful. Science relies on tangible evidence. This type of evidence is measurable. It can be tested, analyzed, and verified. This is what makes scientific evidence so powerful. It's not based on personal opinions or interpretations. It's based on observations and experiments that can be replicated by others. This ensures that our understanding of the world is as objective as possible. When we talk about proving God's existence, we need to apply the same standards of evidence. We need tangible, measurable proof. Anecdotal evidence, while compelling for many people, simply doesn't meet these standards. It relies on subjective interpretations and is susceptible to biases. To claim that God exists based solely on personal experiences is not enough. We need more than just stories. We need evidence that can be examined, tested, and verified. This is not to say that personal experiences are meaningless. They are a valuable part of what makes us human. However, we must be careful not to conflate personal meaning with objective truth. Our experiences can enrich our lives, but they cannot on their own prove or disprove the existence of God. So theists, What tangible evidence do you have to back up your positive claim for the existence of a God? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Freethinker's Journey.